And so they sought a means to harness the forces of darkness.
Our time has come, my friends!
I'm still trying to make sense of this.
The doom and gloom. Oh yes, quite expected.
Should the source fall, what will become of the other worlds?
The calamity of Amarot was a tragedy beyond reckoning. One which must never again come to pass. I have been asked to do that and more yet again.
Yes, all of them, and but me no buts! You're the only one who appears not to be wholly unsatisfied with our work. No matter, we've got our plans.
Long ago, before the Great Sundering, there was but a single world, Etheirys. Huh. One day, from within the earth, a terrible cry issued forth, affecting a profound change in all manner of life. We were not exempt. Oh god, are we really learning all of the lore behind the final days right now? That would be so awesome. Our creation magics ran rampant, giving shape and form to thoughts of hopelessness and despair. At first, the phenomenon was limited to a single region, but quickly, so very quickly, it spread and engulfed the whole of the star.
Were the ancients ever able to deduce its source?
Oh, come on! They were not. However, the convocation struck upon a method to predict where the next corruption would manifest. The etheric energies which flow through all of creation in the form of various currents. That just took the air out of all of this cutscene. We're not gonna learn anything. Why? The currents which course through the land and seas. Well, of course, because we're only level 83, right? 84 actually right now. And those which flow through the very air. Those of celestial nature which encompass both the star and this moon.
Celestial currents. I cannot say I am familiar with the concept.
Not what I expected to be. Few scholars of our time knew of their existence. Their invaluable knowledge helped us to better understand the nature of the calamity. Like the terrestrial ones of earth and air, the celestial currents form a vast network, but the ethereal distribution is not consistent. The convocation soon realized that the inciting incidents occurred in regions where the flow was weakest. Correlation without clear cause, ultimately. Nevertheless, on closer study, a stagnancy of ether was observed in nearby currents.
And so they sought a means to harness the forces of darkness, of activity and growth. Thus was Zodiark conceived.
So they made, so they just made the ether flow again. That makes sense. So now that it isn't present anymore, Hydaelyn is just basically stopping every flow of celestial ether and monsters everywhere.
No less a power than a god's could set right the laws of nature and quicken the flow of ether within the star.
Precisely. With the advent of Zodiark, our end was averted. Well, quickening the flow of ether in the star might also mean killing people, right? Or killing beings. Because then they return to the ether and, you know, keeping a flow. I don't know.
Emmett Selk claimed that those who summoned Hydaelyn did so because they saw Zodiark's power as a threat. Is that true?
Now you're asking the right questions. Indeed, there was a faction opposed to Zodiark's creation, but their aim was never to unmake him. They understood the continued preservation of the natural order was dependent on his very existence. Until we could identify and address the underlying cause of the final days, he would need remain, for his departure would set in motion those apocalyptic forces once more. Could have told us that before. Sorry. Hydaelyn recognized this as well, and so rather than destroy, she sundered Zodiark herself and this. Wait, she sundered herself as well? Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. And the star into lesser reflections that she might confine him in this place. I could have sworn she beseeched me to banish the darkness. Maybe it wasn't even her, right? Perhaps she did, but as with all beings, intent is not always in accord with spoken word. Hydaelyn and Zodiark are both constructs of man, approximations of perfection limited by our own imperfections. Zodiark was, without question, the more powerful of the two, having been born from the sacrifice of half Etheirys' population. Thus was it necessary for Hydaelyn to commit herself wholly to his defeat. Still more effort was needed to confine him. Maintaining the brands taxed her greatly. With that power she dared spare, she cried out to any who might listen, and offered her blessing to those who heeded her call. Now the question is, did we just set free the more evil one of both of them by not having to confine the other one anymore? Though it was likely within her power to do so, I believe she did not wish to speak of Etheirys and her history. Like Zodiark, Hydaelyn's purpose is a reflection of her creators. They wish to look to the future and not linger in a prison of the past.
The Ascians set in motion 7 rejoinings before we came to oppose them. How many more worlds would have been lost had we not placed our faith in her? How many more souls living in the present would have been snuffed out for the sake of those long dead?
And how many souls are gonna die now because of the final days?
Well, in light of recent events, I see no reason to doubt your words. And even if Hydaelyn is not a god in truth, if Minfilia believed that we should trust in her plans, then I choose to do just that.
Is this the point where we go, would they really go so far? Would they really go so far that Hydaelyn just lied to us from the very beginning? That it's just everything that we did for Hydaelyn was ultimately just to free her from her own prison? I'll leave that an open question for now.
Question. Let's suppose we try but fail to stop this second coming of the final days.
What happens?
Should the source fall, what will become of the other worlds?
That's also an interesting ask, yeah. The nomenclature is more fitting than you know. Bring ruin to the source, and its reflections will share in its fate. Are we going to the first again? Are we gonna see Irene again? For some reason. is ready. Tear of the moon, falling to the earth, a lot of monsters, like in Final Fantasy VIII. This way, if you would be so kind. Please enjoy your front seats in the end of the world. Ooh, what's that? Beautiful sight, is it not? Well, sure.
Yes, but what is it?
Exactly. Hydaelyn knew better than any that her power was not absolute. Indeed, she has ever struggled to hold Zodiark and his faithful at bay. She feared the worst and so made preparations. In the event of his demise, there would be a contingency. Okay, so she doesn't want the final days, right? I think we can settle on that. This moon is more than a prison. It is a vessel capable of bearing the people of Etheirys to safe harbor. It's a spaceship. Wow, okay. So it... Are we gonna abandon the world? That would be awesome. Imagine. Just a full... I know they're not gonna do that, but just imagine. Post-patch content. A whole new world. You need not go far to find its pilots. In fact, I should be happy to take you to them. And fulfill my final duty as Watcher in the Dark. The time has come for you to be on your way. The crater at the heart of Mare Lamentorum, where Zodiark was imprisoned, is not easily traversed, however. Let us call upon Argus, the familiar whom you met earlier. He should have no trouble bearing you across. Come here, good boy. As Hydaelyn created me as the jailer, so did she create Argus as the god. I wonder what kind of jailer memes are out there right now. It is his nature to appear when needed, and yet he is nowhere to be found. Strange. Mayhap the imbalancing of ether has affected him. No, doggy! I've seen him as a mount, I know he's coming back. Let us make for the crushing brand, and attempt to call upon him there. You need but recall the path you walked with Argus before, and you will find your way. If the labors in service to Hydaelyn's plan, I see no reason not to do as he suggests. If he... Shall we make for this crushing brand then? You're taking the long route? Well, I don't. There's a reason why there is no railing on that balcony, or no full railing. The place we seek is just ahead of the Chlorophoskgrot. You see, Argos cannot manifest without sufficient concentrations of ambient ether. You would be hard-pressed to find a greater confluence than inside this cavern. Follow me. The god of Zodiark's prison, eh? Blood-red eyes, slavering maw, and built like a behemoth, I'd imagine. Let's hope he's friendly. Well... let's just surprise ourselves. Yes, he will do nicely. The lunar spongoi draw ether from the ground, which is then dispersed in the air. At present, however, the ambient energies are not quite sufficient for Argus to manifest. Might you be willing to spare some of your own to help the spongoi along? I'm not sure if that's such a good idea. I'm still not 100% sure we can trust Hydaelyn there, you know? Or at least I would want to know what she's gonna do now with her newfound freedom, right? Hey, doggy. Woof woof. Argus manifests in a flash. He seems glad to see you again. Wanna be mounted again? Was pretty nice the last time. A most fascinating creation of Hydaelyn's, would you not agree? Should the need arise, he is even able to create reflections of himself on a whim. Yeah, please, 3 of them. Though I assure you it was no reflection which accompanied you earlier to the brand. No, Argus was quite eager to be at your side, as he is now, it seems. I cannot recall when last he showed such an affinity for anyone. Indeed, I thought him more likely to shy away from you and your companions. Perhaps it was more than a sense of duty that compelled him to aid you before. As for your companions... Pop, pop, pop. Unexpected, but greatly appreciated. I believe we are all ready. Then let us return outside that you may cross the chasm. Your destination is structured there across the Cradle of Darkness. But climb on the Augur's back and he will take care of the rest. Once you arrive, it should not take long to find the ship's crew. The facility is designed to rouse them from their slumber in the event of Zodiark's destruction. Heed their counsel, together you may guide the star and its people to a kinder fate. This is where we part ways, but know that I shall ever be watching and praying for your success. Our allies' assurance notwithstanding, we cannot be certain what awaits us on the other side. So perhaps it would be best if we did not all go at once. I propose the two of us cross first, while Thancred and Riange wait here. Go, go, go. Onward! You were just dying to ride on this puppy, right? A malefic ether yet permeates from the crater, remnants of Zodiark most like. Looks awesome. Just a little further. Oh, that's actually bigger than I thought it would be, that building. Even bigger than I thought it would be. The structure is enormous, although that is hardly surprising given the size of the average Omoratine. Apologies for the wait. Right then, let us head inside and... Oh? They wanna come with us? Most intriguing, a means by which he conserve energy mayhap. Well, I certainly wouldn't want him to blink out of existence on our account, helpful as he's been. Stay where it's safe, alright? If Argus is to remain without, let us not keep him waiting over long. Wow. Okay. So where's the crew? Wow, that looks like the elegant... That looks like the Crystal Tower. That doesn't sound good.
Our moonship pilot should be around here somewhere. Is that right?
Maybe they're just gonna try slaughtering us. Okay. What do I know these from? Okay. Oh, that's the bunny boys everybody has been waiting for, right? My own army of bunny boys. Bunny cat boys. Hamster boys? Are they hamsters?
Look lively, everyone!
Captain on deck.
1243rd inspection is a mite ahead of schedule, but it is of the utmost importance, for Zodiark, alas, is no more. As of now, our mighty moon has a new purpose, to bear the people of Etheirys to safety.
Yay.
Our time is come, my friends.
Okay.
We must be swifter than swift. There is much to do before our guests arrive.
We're already here.
I expect your workstations to be immaculate. And don't forget to relay our signal to Etheirys. Questions? Yes? No? Maybe so? No? Then hop to it!
They know what they're doing, at least.
Tis a rather curious crew she hath chosen. Their endearing forms intended to ease the passengers' hearts, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Okay. A hairy situation. So they are hares, not hamsters. Okay. They must be the Loporids mentioned in the Watcher's records. Not at all what I expected, but the Watcher did bid us heed their counsel. I assume the one who gave the rousing speech was the leader, though we might have to ask about in order to track them down. Come on then, let us be about it. Yay! Ouch. Hello? The leader of the crew? Not me, I'm afraid. Singing Way is the name. I'm in charge of the construction and maintenance of the atmospheric circulation system. Only the crispest, cleanest air for the people of Etheirys, and that's a promise. Those in Loporid. Leader? No, Sleeping Way. My job is... perhaps I'd better ask. So it is those ones as well, right? Hey, you! What? How in the... Yeah, we were already here. When did you get here? Who let you in? Why wasn't I told? Take me to your leader. Were you the ones giving orders earlier? Me? Oh yes, of course. As the only one around here capable of doing anything properly, it falls to me to take charge of the others. Well, looks like you bet us here. Your friends, I take it? Is this all of them? Yeah, we're all. We can start. That's all of Etheirys people. A group comprised entirely of children. What must their parents be thinking? This isn't a nursery after all, though perhaps we should build one. Or did we build one already? No matter. You needn't worry, you pretty little heads. All will be well, I promise. But goodness me, we shouldn't be standing about gawping. I must take you to meet the others. If you could run along back toward the entrance, you'll find a path that leads to the central platform on the upper floor. There's no wrong way to reach it, but it's the large glowing ball at the center if you should find yourselves lost. I shall gather the others and meet you there. Well then, back to the upper floor it is. As if I haven't done enough running around so far, right? I'm really wondering what turn the story will take from here.
Of course, introductions are in order. Ahem. My name is Living Way, and we are the Loporids, created for the express purpose of commanding this ship and bearing the people of Etheirys to a brave new world. More specifically, I am the one whom she charged with the execution of her most vital plans. You might say I'm her right paw. Nothing weighs the name, map reader and navigator of the heavens.
Pleasure to meet you all, but I'm still trying to make sense of this.
Confusion and bewilderment are completely understandable. Fear not, I shall walk you through it. The people of Etheirys, through no fault of your own, I'm sure, set in motion a series of events that, unfortunately, culminated in Zodiark's obliteration. Acutely aware of the imminent crisis, your parents sent you little ones on ahead while they began the necessary preparations. Still not following? No? Very well, I shall elaborate further.
What preparations?
Here, we have Etheirys, your home, and the moon, where we are now. Without
Yes.
Zodiark around to keep things lively, so to speak, the celestial currents of the star have doubtless begun to degrade. A
Yes.
calamity of apocalyptic proportions will be visited upon Etheirys, bringing an end to all life. Very sad, that.
True.
So too hath the Watcher claimed. By thine unperturbed countenance, I gather this eventuality was anticipated.
Yes, which is why we have this beautiful moonship here to go to another world. Did you really just not realize that yet?
Oh, yes, quite Imagine, if you will, that Etheirys is a delicious carrot that I've forgotten to eat and left out in the midday sun.
Does it happen often?
The most
This sort of looks
wishes or
so.
prayers will not stop it from rotting to the core. So sadly, there's nothing to be done but to abandon said carrot, Etheirys, in case the metaphor is lost on you, to its grisly fate.
And this moon will serve as the vessel to deliver us to a new home.
Exactly.
Just so! We will gather up as many people, supplies, and resources as our stores will hold. And then, once everyone is aboard, it's off to another star. Easier said than done, admittedly. For one does not simply hop from star to star on a whim. Which is precisely why we've spent countless years constructing the most propulsive of propulsion systems. We ought to make it to our destination in 2 shakes of a rabbit's tail.
And how long is that in years?
Impressive technology. I dare say it is beyond anything we have ever seen.
That's true.
No need to shower us with praise. All we've done is faithfully carry out the instructions left to us by Hydaelyn. Back in the old days, when she was still just Venar, she was dedicated to the study of the world and its inner workings.
That was the name, yeah, I remember.
And the Watcher, the real one, not the simulacrum you met, was one of her fellow researchers. We and this wondrous vessel masquerading as a moon are products of their knowledge and know-how.
There's certainly more to you all than meets the eye. Might I ask where exactly you intend to take us?
We identified a few promising candidates for resettlement some time ago, but we cannot guarantee that they are fit for habitation.
Okay.
Moreover, the ship can only travel in short bursts. We intend to go down our list, hopping from star to star, until we find one suitable for resettlement.
How long will that take?
No need to worry, though. The vessel is being refurbished with accommodation for an extended stay as we speak.
How long is it gonna take? We are not on Morossians again, we don't live forever.
While we did have to rely upon outside help to determine what amenities were essential, I dare say we have risen to the challenge.
Help? From who?
From you and yours! Who else? Each time we woke to perform regularly scheduled maintenance, we were greeted by the resources you sent us. What better way to learn about preferences and proclivities of our present-day charges?
Asians?
Ah, but you're still adorable little children. Perhaps your elders were responsible for the deliveries.
The forum, of course. Labyrinthos. Oh, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Oh my god. I don't know. This is just hilarious. So all they've ever been doing was just sending some care packages up to rabbits on the moon. So they have set their mind on just abandoning the planet and leave. But of course we're not gonna do that. We know so from the trailer, right? Alright, that's one mystery less to solve.
I'm not sure what led you to conclude otherwise, but I can assure you that we are all grown men and women. And I very much doubt my elders know this place exists, much less how to send you so much as a starlight missive.
What? Then who in blazes let you on my moon?
That was me. More or less.
Hydaelyn herself led you here.
Well, and by extension her, yes.
You don't say! Well, that's really not children. Then why are you so small and stunted? Like little baby carrot people.
Well, Amarotines were a great deal taller. In the present day, persons of such prodigious size are exceedingly rare.
True.
So, you're saying everyone's not like the Watcher?
Yeah. So you probably build everything a lot too large. Like beds and toilets and stuff.
Confound it all! Someone could have at least scribbled a note about your profound miniaturization.
That tome in thy possession.
Yeah, it's from Shoreline, I guess.
Oh, this? One of the first books sent to us. A compendium of the people of Etheirys, with a few blank pages at the back for minor corrections and updates as needed. The sum total of our knowledge of your kind is contained in these pages. I thought it was abridged and made small for our benefit, but this isn't a regular-sized book, is it?
It is. Everything must be changed. Change everything.
Building way, can you hear me? Yes, we're all very busy. Change of plans. I need you to rebuild the domiciles at 1/3 the scale. All of them. Yes, all of them, and but me no buts. See to it with all speed.
Perhaps you could tell us a bit more about your terrestrial collaborators.
Come on, I already realized it. You didn't realize
in
that?
due time. But first, I'd like to hear more about you, if it's all the same. I'd rather not risk any other complications due to outdated knowledge of our passengers-to-be.
Yeah, sure. You can have Thancred for that. And Orion J. And Yoshtola, I'm gonna do something more interesting. Right then, now that you're here, we need you to teach us all you can about your people, and quickly. It won't be long before the final days are upon us and all their terrible grandeur, so it's imperative that we be prepared to receive our passengers to be. If there is anything at all that may displease them, it must be addressed post-haste. And address it we shall. Here at Bestway Sparrow, we have assembled everything required to offer our guests the best way forward. We have produced myriad amenities we understand to be essential for day-to-day living, and I wish to hear your opinions on them. I'm sure you've all worked up an appetite, so why don't we start with foodstuffs? Meet me at the Caratorium, and we'll see about filling your bellies. I'm down with that. She does not want for enthusiasm. The notion of Etheirys rotting to its core being a matter of course is rather concerning, though. Nevertheless, let us take this opportunity to learn more of the Loporrits and his vessel. Wait, are you just growing carrots everywhere? No, I mean, you must have received stuff from Labyrinthos, right? So you must have Gurabanian carrots and Querthan carrots, right? What was it? What they were worried about? When if someone mistakes the Querthus carrots for the Gurabanian carrots, what then? No, I cannot eat the wrong carrots. That really is just carrots. Oh my god. Oh god, it's carrots everywhere. Oh no. Welcome to the Caratorium. Here we create prototypes of the various sundries required by our soon-to-be passengers. Allow me to introduce the head of foodstuffs production, Cooking Way. Pleasure to meet you all. Our work has involved no small amount of trial and error, but after many cycles of painstaking labor at ESSA, we have created the finest cuisine a guest could ask for. I've learned all about the essential nutrients for a healthy and balanced diet from the reference material received, which is probably like scholar loaf and stuff like ugh. Why, I've practically worn the words from those invaluable pages. Naturally, we've also considered ease of growth and production. We will not want for ingredients. I must insist you try some. We have fresh stock recently prepared on account of, well, because we just woke up and we're all quite famished. Hop along the platforms here and you'll find a storage until unit full to bursting with delectable delights. Help yourself to anything you like. Well, here's the conundrum. Which carrots am I gonna start with? You open the storage unit and find a rainbow-colored assortment of carrots. The honest, let's just start from the top. From front to tip, no scratches or blemishes, more this immaculate specimen. Nevertheless, if not for its excessive length and girth, one might think it was an ordinary carrot. Yeah, let's eat it. Can we eat all of them? On second thought, you elect to simply take an obscenely large carrot for now. Yummy. Due to its bizarre qualities, it would be prudent to ask Cooking Way whether it is safe to eat first. So, did any of our selections set your mouth to watering? Ops. Even Viera are like to swoon at the sight of so grand a carrot, that I'd be offended by all those who assume that they would. Ah yes, a fine choice. One of my personal favorites, actually. Please dig in, I'm eager to hear what you think. Well, nothing goes. With great trepidation, you take a bite of the carrot. There is a satisfying crunch as you sink your teeth into the orange skin, and a warm, tingling sensation runs down your spine. With the second bite, a wave of euphoria washes over you, and you drown in bliss. Wow. Alas, as you finish, the elation fades, leaving you with a desperate craving for another carrot. Only because it was obscenely large, I would say, right? That's of course the only reason why this one was so blissfully pleasurable. Okay. Well, they seem to be fine. Carrot of happiness, yay! What did you think? Unlike anything you've ever tasted, yes? Really good, yes. The carrot of happiness is full to bursting with nutrients and is guaranteed to leave you feeling satiated. It's a staple among us Loporrits. We have plenty of other varieties too. Bleeding carrots improve blood flow. Dream carrots help with sleep. So you see, we have a carrot for every occasion. That's actually pretty cool. But what if I don't like carrots? You don't like carrots? Oh, you must mean you don't like them served in this fashion. Worry not, we have pureed versions on hand if you haven't the time to chew. I take it you too had a wide assortment of carrots to choose from and not else? Yeah. At least they're good. If I may ask, what exactly did these collaborators share with you about cuisine of Etheirys? Surely you're aware we have an abundance of dishes and food you could emulate? Of course we are, but well, it was only quite recently that we established contact. Even holding a conversation was a struggle at first, so imagine our surprise when they sent a mountain of books and documents with no clear instructions. The sheer amount of information was overwhelming. If it wasn't for that encyclopedia I found, you would have been at a loss where to begin. And so we decided rather than divide our resources to prepare a variety of middling and potentially unsatisfying meals, it would be more efficient to devote our efforts to the production of a single perfect food. That's actually pretty reasonable. That's all well and good, but man cannot live on raw carrots alone. Have you considered cooking them? You mean steaming, boiling, roasting and the like? I suppose we could prepare the carrots another way. But the primary concern was efficiency, and what's more efficient than sinking your teeth into carrot fresh from production? A rather strange approach to take for one named Cooking Way, isn't it? Well, technically speaking, Cooking Way isn't my given name. When first created, we were all named in the old tongue, you know, that otherwise impenetrable parlance that Watcher speaks. After we received a great tome of words, a dictionary that is, from our collaborators, we learned your language. Adverbs, gerunds, present, continuous, verb, conjugations, just the basics. Then we found the terms related to a given task and used them to form new names. Aren't they helpful? Well, they actually are. No, not really, but it does explain a great deal. Wherefore didst thy kind deem such a change necessary? When the rest of your people arrive, you want to be certain they understand immediately what each of us does. You'd never be able to pronounce their original names anyway. I see. I hope critiques such as they are, well, were helpful to you. Though if you should decide to preserve flora and fauna from Etheirys as well, you would be able to offer the passengers a more balanced diet. Until such a day, one I pray comes sooner than later, it would appear there is naught but carrots on the menu. I think we've had our fill of carrots for now. Let's move on to other necessities, shall we? Our clothing production is sure to impress. This way. Here we are, the apparel production station. We've chosen to employ more traditional methods for this task, creation magics. Hydaelyn in her infinite wisdom blessed us with the selfsame affinity for magic her people possessed. We have other amazing talents, of course, and I know you're dying to hear about them, but I will regale you with the details another time. That said, we did run into a spot of trouble at first. Our magic alone was not sufficient to see our work done. In the end, we discovered crystallized ether was a wonderful catalyst that could provide us with the extra V's we needed. My, how resourceful. Ah, the sweet sound of recognition. You will also be impressed to hear we've read all about your habit of changing attire to match your chosen profession. For the sake of efficiency, I presume. This also has been taken into account with our designs. But why take my word for it when you can simply try on our clothes? Make yourselves known to the workers and they will see to the rest. Bet it's just one design with different colors. Ah, it's you, one of the visitors from Etheirys. Goodness me, Mapping Way wasn't kidding. You really are smaller than the Watcher. Alright, you're here to try on a set of clothes, yes? What would you have me fashion for you today? An outfit that embodies my bloodlust. Something simple yet functional. A fashionable and refined ensemble. Please, bloodlust. No, actually a fashionable and refined ensemble. Pretty sure they're all gonna look the same anyways. Fashionable. Right. This will only take a moment. Come on, I could craft that when I was a level 20 weaver. And there we are, all finished. Perfect fit, a perfect fit if I do say so myself. Well, it's probably not that hard with creation magics, right? I'll be honest, I know nothing of fashion, let alone fashion on Etheirys, but I would wager no one down there has ever worn anything like this fine ensemble. Perhaps you can start a new trend. No. 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 Just no. Would you look at that? Speechless! And there I thought you may not like it. If you have a mind to try something else, why not speak with my fellow artisans? I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige. You must continue wearing these garments in order to progress. You will change back to your normal garments if you move too far away. Look to your map for the garment change area of effect. Speak with the restless Loproid to restore the prolong the garment change. Nice. No one said you'd be coming. How can I help you? You should try my clothes, really? Of course, it would be my honor. Did you have anything in mind? Got anything with a little more flair? Please? I think I can handle that. Let's see. This should do. Well, that's better. I mean, it's strange, but it's better. At least, you know, you could call that fashionable. I don't know what fashion it would be, but, you know, some of my best work yet. Times and tastes truly have changed. It used to be so rare for anyone to request clothing with a focus on form over function. Thankfully, I had a spare concept for robes made using a different fabric. I think it looks rather fetching. What do you want, cat? Beautiful kitty. I was worried how the concept would turn out when put to the proof, but it looks stunning on you. Won't you go and show Living Way? I'm sure she's eager to see what we've come up. It sure is something. My, don't we look splendid? The result of much trial and error, but I know quality work when I see it. Shh, you didn't speak. I can see your adoration for the moon and we Loproids in your eyes. No doubt your friends feel the same having sampled our creations. Oh, I do want to see how they look. Please, oh my god, yes. Oh my god, your Yoshi looks hilarious. That's actually quite fashionable. Kinda like that one. The ancestors resemble all of the concepts we returned. He just looks fabulous, oh my god. Verily, it is an ensemble most becoming. It's so good. It's so good. I think it's past time we return these clothes. I kinda like Thancred's one though. I was so confident the garments would meet with your approval. Whatever are we doing wrong? The Watcher taught us that in this time everyone wore the same robes. To do otherwise was against social etiquette. We thought we could appeal to modern taste by tailoring the robes to specific professions, but... Please, you mustn't be so hard on yourself. Should we resort to evacuating the people of Etheirys, they will most certainly have need of your attire. This clearly spared no effort in addressing our needs, but you must understand that we are not quite so homogeneous. Speaking for myself, what I wear now better suits my taste, even if it is of inferior make. But there are others whose choices might be influenced by traditions or personal experience. Rather than make up assumptions for the whole, you must consider the individual and the potential preferences. I fear we've underestimated the complexity and diversity of your people. Even if we'd memorized every tome we received, I doubt we'd have fared much better. Maybe we're doing you a disservice trying to shower you with our baubles and frippery, thinking what if it was for your benefit when you'd be better off on your own. There are some who might agree. People prefer to keep others at arm's length, even when they know they shouldn't. As one such former fool, I'd like to ask you a question. This plan to evacuate and escape the final days, did it account for the reflections of the source as well? Oh. Not that I'm aware of. We were born in Hydaelyn's love for Etheirys and the salvation of the people on the star, and the star alone has ever been our aim. Surely it's better to devote ourselves to saving one world than to divide our efforts across 14 and risk failing them all. Well, it's only 7 left, right? 8. 8 left? No, 7 rejoining. 7 are gone, so it's 7 left. I suppose you're right. Living Way might we have leave to explore Best Way burrows unattended? You've given us much to think about. Why, certainly. Until later then. She's gonna crash the forum. If I may, I should like to accompany thee a while longer. Really? I mean, you're more than welcome to. There was actually something I wish to speak with you about. Let's be off then, shall we? Teach them some Yu-Gi-Oh! What's your deal? My apologies. I wasn't trying to spy or anything. Spyway? Everyone's been talking about the visitors came from Etheirys and I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I was excited at first, but now I'm worried. What if the people of Etheirys refuse to come? What if we can't save them? It's clear we've made a mess of things. Oh, but wait, you still haven't visited the domiciles. Once you see them, you'll understand how wonderful the moon truly is, I'm sure of it. Nah, I don't really want to see them anymore. I'll be waiting for you by the teleporter near the entrance. Oh, and the name's Growing Way, by the way. See you soon. So you do the growing? Wait, what? You have a cat door now. Go use the cat door if you want to go outside, cat. You're here, you're really here. Thank you so much. Sorry, shit. What should I call you? Yomi Tanchi. Yomi Tanchi, eh? Crikey, even your names are amazing. Well, Yomi will be using this teleporter to enter the residential area whenever you're ready. Please, show me. Residential area on the moon. Coming 6.2. I don't know. Really? Voice acted? Interesting. Maybe they're not made for us?
Huh? Access to living quarters restricted due to reconstruction. Then where is it? Oh no!
Where am I getting teleported? Engine? Or do you have some secrets we should
Private
know?
audience, as thou didst request, for reasons I know not.
What? Oh.
Just a precaution. I'd rather I didn't have to ask the question at all, but I take my responsibilities very, very seriously. Do you and your friends, by any chance, find our accommodation wanting? Be honest, brutally even.
'Twould be ungracious of me to belittle the efforts of thee and thine.
Lovely sentiment, really. But the disappointment is writ plain on your comrades' faces. It's all the more frustrating since no one will come out and say what they find wanting. If there are faults in our work, we need to know. We can, we will do better. But time is not on our side. The final days will wait for no one. If your people are to be saved, we must take quick and decisive action. This vessel must serve as a home for as many passengers as possible, for far longer than we may like. Which brings me to my request.
How much longer, actually? Still haven't answered that one.
Our collaborators on Etheirys are doing what they can to prepare for the voyage. Would you be willing to go and lend them a hand?
No, we're just gonna shout at them and tell them what morons they are. No, they're not morons, but still. They could at least try fighting, you know?
Having seen the moon for yourself, you could speak to its many splendors, learn what else they might require, and assuage whatever concerns they have.
Wherefore wouldst thou entrust me with such a task?
How to put it? You're the only one who appears not to be wholly unsatisfied with our work. Or quite good at pretending that's the case, at least. Calm, collected, tactful to a fault. Very particular with your words, too. You understand that, in the face of great danger, one cannot pursue perfection at the expense of practicality. The difficult choices must often be made for the greater good.
And so fate doth conspire to set my feet upon this path once more.
Come again?
Ah, idle musings. 'Tis no trifle thou dost ask, yet full well do I understand the urgency and necessity.
Oh, dear me! Dear me! I was terribly sorry for the mix-up. It's a bit of a malfunction. I hadn't realized the residential quarters were inaccessible, you see. But you're still in one piece. So, all's well that ends well, yes? Won't happen again. I promise.
Gosh, that was embarrassing. I promise to be more careful from now on. Since the residential quarters are closed for now, I have teleported to allow travel between floors instead. Hopefully it proves useful in the meantime. A shame you couldn't see it though. You really would have liked it. It may not seem like it, but we've been planning for this far longer than I'd care to admit. Each time we woke up, we'd have long discussions about how to save as many of you as we can. Felt like everyone had an opinion on this or that. But the one thing that we all agreed upon was that the people of Etheirys wouldn't take action to save themselves until it was far too late. That's why we're striving to make the moon a vibrant, magical place they'd hope at the chance to visit, rather than waiting for the flames of oblivion to get them off their tails and force them to accept our invitation. The residential quarters may not be up to the necessary standards just yet, but there are plenty of other places worth seeing. You've already had a look around the Curatorium, but wait until you see what's waiting for you at the east end of the barrow. Follow me. Worth a look, I guess. I mean, I do think it's pretty cool and all. I wouldn't even mind just eating carrots as long as, you know, they provide the necessary nutrients and everything. I'm just worried, you know, I mean, if the time we need traveling to other stars that they planned for is just, you know, based on Amarosian lifespans, then I guess it would just be generations of us living in this vessel before we at least even reach a single one of the stars that they want to check, right? Good, you're here. Through this door is greatest End's Vale. It was named as such because it's the veil to end all veils, the most beautiful forest you'll ever see. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that one. We understand the people of Etheirys enjoy taking leisurely walks through natural spaces and the like, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So I'm gonna walk the End's Vale. Haha! How about we start with a nice stroll to the fountain? This way. I'm really curious about this one. Called that the forest? Good gracious. I mean, those green tree-looking things, okay, but what the hell are those? It's kind of sad, because, you know, that they're all just giving their best, right? But it's just so horrifying. Well, at least that's real water, right? Seems like it, at least. Alright, I walked the ends. I hated it. So, what did you think of the forest? Isn't it positively pleasant? Simply sublime? This has transcended as burying your face in a chocobo's plumage and taking a good long whiff. I didn't see any. Wait, you don't mean those crystals out there, I couldn't see the forest or the trees. You're pulling my tail. You're in the forest right now. Building this place was a challenge, let me tell you. Since we were born here, we've never seen trees in person before, let alone a forest. Yes, I can see that. Shockingly so. The information sent by our collaborators was quite enlightening, but after much deliberation we decided to use crystalline constructs in place of living trees. Yeah, there you have the problem. And thanks to your atmospheric circulation system, this place produces air as clean as you'd find in the forest in Etheirys. The fountain here behind us, powered by the rather large crystal adorning its top, plays a vital role in supplying us with fresh water. That one is actually pretty cool, I must admit. The fountain is pretty cool. Much time and effort was spent making it the most spherical of spheres, and I dare say the unparalleled roundness speaks for itself. That's pretty cool, yeah. True. I enjoy nothing more than a nice long stretch and a spot of relaxation whenever I come up here. You look like you could do with a stretch yourself. Yeah, let's stretch a little. That's the spirit. I feel more relaxed simply watching you. Aside worth the many years spent building this place, oh, you're just making my consciousness heavier and heavier. If it's not too much to ask, it's always been a dream of mine to take a walk through this forest with someone from Etheirys. Could we, maybe? Why don't you just come with me to Etheirys and walk through a real forest, you know, as long as it's existing? Why don't we just take all of you back to Etheirys? You can see everything yourselves. Why didn't you do that before? It can't be that hard, right? I mean, people have to come up here at somehow, so why wouldn't you be able to go down? You will? Oh, be still, my quivering whiskers. I was thinking, Yomi, that I could be more helpful to you by teaching you a little about the moon and what it is we do. When we were first created, the moon's sole purpose was to hold Zodiark, and there was absolutely nothing to be found here. Eventually, Hydaelyn gave us a first task: furnish the moon with propulsion systems capable of facilitating travel to other stars. It's kinda hilarious to think that Hydaelyn did all this, right? It sounds impressive, and I suppose in some respect it is, but it was only possible thanks to all the knowledge Hydaelyn shared with us. He also had a lot of time to get it done. 6,000 years, give or take. But anyway, let's keep going. This may come as a surprise, but we didn't begin building the habitable areas until after the propulsion systems were ready. Considering how long it took, I wish we'd started sooner. Who would have thought we'd need for 4,000 years to make all this? Wow. It certainly wasn't work you dare rush either. We had to create infrastructure and countless supporting systems, some of which wouldn't be operational until hundreds of years later. And then there was that brief period where our productivity came to a screeching halt when the bizarre red satellite was sent up from Etheirys. The elegance mischief, I think. We thought maybe some new nefarious actor was colluding with Zodiark. All we could do was stand by and brace ourselves for the worst. I can't tell you how relieved we were when Hydaelyn informed us of its destruction. Oh yes, there was much joyous humming that day. This is so wrong on so many levels. Say, do you notice anything peculiar about the treetops? I mean, apart from the fact that they're massive crystals and not trees. Yeah, they have like stars and stuff around them. I'll give you a hint, it's the golden rings emanating from the glowing spheres. Along with the device fixed near the ceiling, they fulfill a role similar to our sun, and do so better even. The sun and similar celestial objects in the Great Expanse radiate energy that is harmful to your bodies. These rings shield you from that energy while allowing you to bathe in the perfect amount of sunlight, or rather a close approximation of it. That's really thoughtful of you. Pretty impressive, wouldn't you say? Yeah, actually pretty cool. Oh, and if you look closely, you'll see different types of trees have ever so slightly different curvatures. Yes, indeed. This forest truly is the greatest. Yeah. There was something else I wanted to tell you about. Oh, right. The propulsion systems and habitat facilities were completed around 2,000 years ago, and with that, the most important features were fit for purpose. Which was all well and good, except we still knew absolutely nothing about the present-day people of Etheirys. Why not go and visit Etheirys yourself? Yeah, exactly, you might ask. Strictly forbidden. Were our technology and knowledge of the moon's true purpose exploited for evil ends, the results could be disastrous. Then there were a few more rejoinings, and it became increasingly difficult to converse with Hydaelyn. Fearful we might lose the ability to communicate with her altogether, we besieged her to find people on Etheirys we could trust to help. We were quite fortunate everything worked out as it did. With the exception of routine inspections and maintenance, we remained asleep and waited, hopeful Hydaelyn would find someone who would help us. Eventually she did, and though her power was waning, we were able to speak to them directly for a short while. We shared with them everything we could, including our knowledge of the heavens, and the means to travel here to the moon. So the forum knows how to travel to the moon? Well, of course, for some reason that they must know how to send books and stuff up here, right? They certainly didn't waste any time with what we taught them. No more than a few years after that, their collaborators found the means to convey messages and supplies to us from down below. With all the letters, books, and other resources they sent, we learned enough to start making more meaningful changes to the moon. And now you're here, hopefully enjoying yourself as much as I am. Kinda. I knew you would like Greatest Endsville. I knew it! Thank you again for coming here, by the way. I know it was just a walk through the forest, but it meant a lot to me. There you are. I take it you've already received the ground tour? A shame we missed it. Growing Way! I've been looking all over for you. Is this about the teleporter to the residential area? No, never mind that. We have more pressing matters at hand. I will be calling an emergency meeting shortly, and your attendance is required. Really? I can't imagine why you'd need me there, but if you insist. We won't be away long, so you all are more than welcome to continue looking about the burrow. Now come along, Growing Way. So enough wasting time. We need to do something about the final days, right? Before we arrived, you seemed to be in the midst of a rousing conversation with your guide. Did you learn anything of import? Yeah, they've been working on this for a very long time. Sadly so. They've spent 12,000 years preparing for this? Well, he was more talking about 6,000. Ah, maybe the 6,000 was just... Okay, so that you had to add them together, I guess, okay. With the appointed hour fast approaching, I can certainly understand the restlessness, but still. It remains to be seen if the people can be persuaded to evacuate when there are yet no signs of the final days. What's more, the technology of this place defies imagination. I doubt there are many who would readily come to terms with living in such surroundings. Whoever these... Come on, you still haven't figured it out. Oh my god, you're so bad. Whoever these collaborators are, unless they are possessed of the world's most charming personalities or a means to forcibly evacuate people, they will meet with a great deal of resistance. Yeah, they are gonna evacuate, don't worry. I'm pretty sure they're easily gonna do that. Indeed. Even if faced with annihilation, the decision to forsake all one knows cannot be made lightly. Forgive me, friends, but I must beg your leave. There is another matter which it begs for mine attention. Of course, we can accompany you if you like. Nay, that will not be necessary, if you will excuse me. Mysterious as ever, right? Always at the wrong time. It's clear now that difficult decisions lie ahead of us. Preparation for the evacuation of Etheirys is indeed crucial, but I am not yet willing to forsake a world and its reflections, and I trust I am not alone in my reticence. The Duranger seems strange to you, more so than usual, I mean. I know he has a penchant for keeping his own counsel, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. Would you go and see if he's alright? Yashtola and I will remain here and see what else we can learn about the final days. If you hurry, perhaps you can catch up to him. Alright, Scarbuncle, go! Discover a map first. There we go. Now, go! Teleport, because faster. Don't turn around, Scrapper. Good, Scrapper. This all just feels so surreal. Orion appears to be heading towards the entrance of Bestway Sparrow. Don't you go with him, doggy. You're my doggy. Orianji ventures off into Moro Lamentoro for reasons unknown. You must tread carefully, else he might sense your... Little cloud of darkness isn't sus at all. Ooh, he's running. There he goes running again. Where are you heading, Orianji? That was quick. Fortunately. For sure he sensed us, right? Of course he did.
Thine arrival is timely as ever. Thou didst chance to overhear my conversation with Living Way, I presume?
Yeah, most of it.
'Twas not mine intent to move in shadow. Nevertheless, I have been asked to do that and more yet again. Is it so plain that these strangers could intuit it at a glance? My capacity for silence and secrecy and duplicity. When Grahatir did contrive to deliver the first at the price of his own life, I was complicit in the scheme. A sacrifice averted. Would that I could say the same for Menphilia. One life for one world. And by that bloody bargain brokered by my hand were the scions robbed of a dear comrade, and Flamine her beloved daughter. Two souls, whose selflessness was beyond measure, whose resolve was unshakable. They would not be moved even had I thought to protest. But protest I did not. Far from it. I pushed them forward. No effort did I make to seek out alternatives, ones that would not demand such terrible costs.
Never actually thought about it.
That resignation weigheth heavy on my mind, as does the memory of another lost to mine inaction. Dearest Moonbringer, who did face death unflinching, that we might secure a means to bring low the Ascians. In her hour of need, I did naught. Dutiful disciple of Louisoix, ever looking to the greater good. Had I shut mine eyes and bid her live instead, mayhap she would be with us today.
Or maybe we would all be dead, because nothing would have happened as it happened, right? There's no meaning,
Selfish
and
wants
ifs
born of
and whens.
everlasting regrets. Most days I put them from my mind, but could think of naught else when asked to swallow the same bitter draught. Subterfuge and sacrifice. Mayhap the right moral choice, but one I regard with great trepidation. The calamity of Amarot was a tragedy beyond reckoning, one which must never again come to pass.
Yeah, but it is about to.
Thus must we struggle, haunted by ghosts of those we have lost, clinging to those we pray we can yet save. But what of those we cannot? How do we make peace with the dreadful algebra of necessity?
Would that we had time to weigh the costs. Everything is easy to judge in
'Tis a
hindsight.
comfort to know we are of like mind in that regard. Strange. Scarcely can I remember when last we spoke alone, and so candidly.
I can barely remember anyone speaking, you know, alone to me without having me just nodding.
I thank thee. For all my supposed skill with words, I find it difficult to express such private thoughts. As for the Loporrit's proposition, I will take time and consider how to respond. It would be to our mutual benefit if we could converse more openly with our aspiring caretakers. A concern I should be glad to address on the Scion's behalf. To dispense with all pretense and bare one's heart to another is a frightening thing indeed. But we cannot move forward ere we take that bold first step. A lesson I have learned many times before. And today.
What are they saying? Curse these ears! I've heard bugger all!
You have such giant ears and cannot hear anything.